Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, I want you guys to come take a walk with me as I discuss 5 things that I consider while hunting and before purchasing a new timepiece. Now, while I was making this video, I was thinking mostly vintage timepieces, but these points can apply to both modern and vintage, whether it's a new modern piece or pre-owned modern piece. So guys, give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into this video. So number 1 is budget. Guys, this is a point where I'm actively working on myself still to this day. Every purchase I make, I have to be like, hey, yes, Clyde, you can afford it. I'm rich, bitch! But should you really buy it? Can you really afford it?
The answer is hell no.
Now, you can look at your bank account and say, okay, I have this much, and yes, I could buy it and be cool. But you need to understand that just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should buy it. You have to factor in other things. You have to factor in service. You have to factor in maybe insurance. And you have to factor in being comfortable wearing the timepiece. You don't want to purchase a timepiece that you're afraid to wear, that you're afraid that the possibility of losing it, the possibility of getting a scratch or damaging it, kills the excitement and the fun in wearing the actual watch. Number 2, service costs. Now, my number 1 and number 2 kind of go together, but it's something where a lot of people really don't consider when purchasing a timepiece. And for those of you guys who aren't really big into timepieces, this is a good example that I'm going to give you guys so you can kind of understand the same thing when it comes to timepieces and service costs. Now, there's a difference between a Toyota, a Volkswagen, a Mercedes, a Ferrari. There's levels. So the same person that can afford a Toyota or Volkswagen could possibly afford a Mercedes, an entry-level Mercedes. But the service cost and the maintenance of this Mercedes is going to be a little bit more than the Toyota or the Volkswagen.
The way that my bank account is set up, the thing is, I got a checking in the savings, but all my money is in the savings.
So it's something to consider when purchasing a car, and the same thing goes with a timepiece. So when purchasing the timepiece and considering service costs, you need to consider the brand that you're going after, the model you're going after.
Clyde came by, dropped off this watch, said it was making a weird sound, and Rolex quoted him $2,700 to fix it after 5 months of having the watch. So that's the weird sound. Usually when you hear that, it's the axle rotor. Let's pop this bracelet off and see what's up here.
And also, especially in vintage, parts availability. Certain parts for vintage timepieces are hard to come across today, and when things are hard to find and scarce, they tend to be more expensive. Now, my 3rd point in the things that I consider when purchasing a timepiece is case size. Guys, it's very important to have the perfect or the correct case size for your wrist. And there's multiple different things to consider when it comes to looking at a case. You need to find the right measurement, the perfect dimension for your wrist. And that could be the lug to lug, which could be from top to bottom and also left to right. Now, for me, I figured out the perfect dimension for my wrist size, and that is from top to bottom around 40 to 42, and from left to right a 34 to 36. Now guys, trust me, I could wear a 40 millimeter, that's from left to right, a 40 millimeter, I could wear a bigger case, but in my opinion, my personal opinion, I don't like oversized timepieces on my wrist, and I don't like seeing it on other people's wrists. So whenever you're trying to pick up a new piece, guys, think about the case size and make sure it fits your wrist correctly. You also have to think of the thickness of the lugs. The actual size of the lugs, the shape of the lugs actually make the timepiece appear larger or smaller on your wrist. So guys, take that into consideration when looking for a new timepiece. My 4th point is usage. What do you plan on doing with this timepiece? How are you going to use the timepiece? Is it going to be for a dressy occasion? Is it going to be for work? Are you like a corporate person? Do you have a blue collar job where you're just out trying to, do things that's going to hit the watch and bang it up and, think about what you're going to do with it. Is it going to be a timepiece that you're trying to do everything with, like a daily? Take that into consideration when purchasing your timepiece, and I believe you'll have a more pleasant experience when it comes to owning the watch that you buy. Now guys, my 5th and final point is, how does the timepiece make you feel? Now I know a lot of us, when we look at a timepiece, we look at it on our phones, on Instagram. We don't actually see it in person initially. But what I encourage you guys to do is to actually go see a timepiece in person and see how it makes you feel. You guys may think I'm crazy, but a timepiece really does bring out emotions in us. And a good example is, let's just say your house, your home. How does it make you feel when you pull up into the driveway and see the house? How does it make you feel when you walk into your home? You know, a lot of people take time into decorating, the paint color, the furniture. It's the same thing with a timepiece. It's a tangible item that we look at all the time. It's on your wrist. You need to take into consideration how it makes you feel. And this point that I'm about to make is just my personal opinion. And it's that when it comes to modern timepieces, like a brand new timepiece, let's say I had picked up that Rolex Submariner at the AD, yes, it would have given me a feeling, but for some reason, a brand new piece that has no history, that has no, patina or usage, or I don't know, it just doesn't bring the same feeling. Comment down below if you guys understand what I'm talking about. That a brand new piece doesn't have a soul. It's just like, okay, you're shiny, you're new, okay, cool. This is an accomplishment. Yeah, great. But it's different. I don't think some of you guys would understand, especially if you haven't had time around vintage timepieces. But vintage timepieces definitely gives you a different feeling, a different sense of energy when you look at it. It brings you peace, a level of calm when you look at it. I might be crazy, but seriously, that's how I feel when I look at some vintage timepieces. So guys, I'm gonna leave it here. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below any point that you guys consider when purchasing a different timepiece, a new timepiece. And stay tuned for the next video.